So by now, I'm sure you've noticed that credit card YouTubers in this space like to do these videos every once in a while where we talk about the current credit cards that we're carrying in our wallets, the credit cards that we're using on a day-to-day basis, and the reason why we choose those credit cards. So since I haven't done one of these personally for my YouTube channel, I thought it would be a cool idea for today's video to just take you guys through the current credit cards that I have in my wallet, the ones I'm using the most on a day-to-day basis, and the reasoning why I have those certain credit cards and the value that I get from them, as well as a little bit later towards the end of the video, I'll share some insight with you guys on the credit cards that I'm looking to add to my setup a little bit later this year and in the beginning of 2024. And for this video, it is going to be totally unscripted. I'm just sitting down and kind of having like a conversation with you guys and talking off the top of my head. So if you do enjoy more content like this, where it's a little bit more natural and laid back, then definitely let me know by either leaving a comment down below or dropping a like, and I'll make sure to do some more videos just like this. Now, starting things off, it wouldn't really be a what's in my wallet video if we don't take a quick second to actually talk about the wallet that I'm carrying at the time or I'm using. And currently the wallet that I'm carrying is going to be the Ridge wallet. Now, personally, I am not affiliated or sponsored by Ridge in any way, shape, or form, but I do enjoy carrying things that are a little bit more sleek and slim and minimalistic. And trust me, you definitely don't want to be the person who's out to dinner or hanging out with some friends and you go to take out your wallet and it's this giant mess that you've seen people before where they have 50 different credit cards and receipts and all of this stuff. So for me, it's just better to carry something that's more slim in form factor. Starting off with the first credit card that I'm currently carrying in my wallet, as well as my newest addition to my credit card setup, and that is going to be the American Express Business Gold Card. Now, a little bit of backstory on why I actually got the Business Gold Card. I wasn't really planning on applying for any credit cards or applying for any more American Express cards, but one day I was just going through the American Express website and I clicked on the Business Gold and I saw that I was actually presented with a targeted offer where I could earn 100,000 Amex MR points after spending $10,000 in the first 6 months of account opening with this credit card. And if you don't know, there are some other sign-up bonuses and welcome offers that you can get with the Business Gold, but most of them revolve around you spending the same $10,000 but in 3 months. And for myself, and I think a lot of others, $10,000 in 3 months is just a lot, even with putting all of your expenses on this card. So personally, when I was presented with the offer of 100,000 points after spending that same $10,000 in 6 months, which I think is a lot more doable, I definitely took the opportunity to jump on that offer because I personally have never seen that offer myself or presented to myself before. And so having that extra 3 months to hit that minimum requirement is great. And 100,000 Amex MR points is a super good sign-up bonus, especially for something like the Business Gold, which typically comes with a 70 or 90,000 point sign-up bonus. In terms of what I'm actually using this credit card for, since I'm currently in the process of working on that welcome offer and hitting that minimum spend requirement, I'm actually putting all of my expenses on this credit card. And that's another tip that I would give you guys. If you're currently working on any type of sign-up bonus or welcome offer, you're always going to want to put all of your spending on that credit card, even if maybe what you're putting on that credit card doesn't necessarily earn the best. It's definitely going to be worth it in the end when you get that big sign-up bonus. And in terms of earnings with the Business Gold Card, you get to earn 4x points back on your top 2 categories where you spend the most each month. And these categories do include things like airfare purchased directly from the airlines, purchases for advertising and select media, gas stations, purchases made directly with select technology providers like Dell and things like that. And then you're going to get 4x back on restaurants, including takeout and delivery, and finally 4x back on US shipping. My 2 highest categories each month are definitely going to be that gas in the food categories, as I'm not really paying for anything else in any of the other categories. But if I do decide to purchase some sort of laptop or something like that from Dell, then it's nice to know I can get 4x back on that as well. Moving on to the next card that I'm currently carrying, and it is going to be another American Express card. That is none other than the American Express Platinum card. In terms of the Platinum card, again, this is a credit card that I'm not really spending any money on, except if I'm purchasing any type of travel that I'm not redeeming points or miles for. Then I typically will use the Platinum card with the Amex Travel Portal to get the 5x back. But outside of that, since this credit card is only earning 1x back on every dollar spent on pretty much anything else, This isn't a credit card that I'm using on a very regular basis, so I will typically just use it when I book travel through the Amex travel portal like I mentioned earlier. But nonetheless, it is a credit card that I think is always valuable to have in your wallet if you have it, especially if I'm traveling and have multiple flights with longer layovers in between. Then I definitely want to make sure that I do have this credit card on me so I can take advantage of any lounge access, and that gives me a nice quiet place to relax and maybe get some free food while I'm waiting on my next flight. The third card that I'm carrying in my wallet currently is going to come from Capital One, and that is going to be the Capital One Venture card. Now, not to be confused with the Capital One Venture X, this is the step below the Venture X. It's just the regular Venture card, and the reason I actually got this card over the Venture X is I applied for it and was approved before the Venture X was released. And so the real reason why I got this credit card was not only did I get a 75,000 mile sign-up bonus with it after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. On top of that, it does also get you 5x miles for every dollar spent on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal. So kind of similar to the American Express card, if I want to earn some Capital One miles and branch out from Amex MR points so I have some more versatility in the points that I have, then sometimes I will book travel through the Capital One travel portal and get the same 5x back. Plus, if you find you're booking for a cheaper price on another website, Capital One will actually match that price within 24 hours of booking. So sometimes it's also a good way to get a little bit of a cheaper price on something while still earning the 5x back. And outside of that, and the main reason why I actually got this card is that it earned unlimited 2x back on every other single purchase with it, making it a very great catch-all card and just a fantastic credit card to have in your wallet in case you're making a purchase that doesn't fall into one of the other higher earning categories in any of the cards that we mentioned earlier. I'll just use the Venture card and get a flat 2x back, which is definitely great when you compare it to some of the other catch-all cards on the market that are maybe just 1.5% back. On top of all of that, I like to keep at least 1 or 2 Visa credit cards in my wallet at all times as well, which the Capital One Venture card is a Visa card. And the reason for this is because if you carry around American Express cards, then you will know that not everywhere is going to accept American Express. And you definitely don't want to be in that situation where you're out to dinner or something and the restaurant maybe doesn't take American Express and you have no other forms of payment. So with American Express cards, it's fine to carry them, but I definitely recommend carrying at least 1 Visa or MasterCard with you as well. Now, moving on to the fourth and final credit card that I'm currently carrying in my wallet, and that is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, with the Sapphire Preferred, kind of similar to the American Express Platinum, it's not a credit card that I'm using a whole lot, simply just because the earning categories on it are not the best. I will use it for my streaming services sometimes because it earns 3x back on that, and maybe if I do like an online grocery order, I might use the Sapphire Preferred as well because it also gets you 3x back there. But in terms of everything else, like dining, I can get 4x back with the Gold card from American Express, which beats out the 3x on the Sapphire Preferred. And then in terms of everything else, like I mentioned, I have the Venture card that can get me 2x back, which also beats out the 1x back from the Sapphire Preferred as well. But similar to how I mentioned earlier, I like to always carry at least 1 or 2 Visa cards. This is just kind of a backup in case I don't want to use the Venture card for whatever reason, and maybe that place that I'm at that certain time doesn't take American Express. Then again, I have another backup Visa credit card that I can use in the event that that does happen. So now that we've talked about the credit cards that I'm currently carrying in my wallet and the reason for those credit cards, I want to take a quick second to actually talk about some of the credit cards that I'm looking to add in the upcoming months and in the beginning of 2024. First thing that I'm actually doing right now is I'm waiting on any credit card applications or any personal applications because I'm trying to get back down below Chase 524. So right now I believe I'm at 624, and in January of next year, so in a few months, I'll be back below down to 424. And in terms of Chase credit cards, I'm not looking to get any personal credit cards as I have all the personal ones that I would want from Chase, but I am looking to add one of their business credit cards, and that's going to be the Chase Business Inc. Unlimited. And a few reasons why I'm looking to add the Business Inc. Unlimited related is one, I want the $750 sign-up bonus, which is going to come in the form of 75,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which I can then transfer over to my Sapphire Preferred and use it for some traveling and stuff like that. And that'll get me about $940 to $950 of value out of that, with that additional 25% boost on the Sapphire Preferred. And on top of all of that, it is just a very solid catch-all card that earns 1.5% back on every single purchase made with the card. And I know that I do have the Venture card, which earns 2x back, but like I mentioned earlier, I do think it's good to have some versatility in these type of points that you're earning, so you have some from each issuer, because each credit card issuer is going to offer you different redemption values, different transfer partners, and things like that. So it is good to have some versatility. So every now and then I'll switch up the cards that I'm using to earn different points from different issuers. And so having that Business Inc. Unlimited with the 1.5% back is going to make a great catch-all card addition to my setup. And then since I'll get my Chase credit card application out of the way, the next credit card that I want to add before I apply for anything else personal related is going to be the Capital One Venture X. Now, like I mentioned earlier, yes, I do currently have the standalone Venture card, which I applied for and got before the Venture X was released, but I am looking at getting the Venture X, and it's a credit card that I would really like to add to my setup, especially with that 75,000 point sign-up bonus and the fact that it earns 10x back on hotels and rental cars booked in the Capital One travel portal, 5x back on flights, and the same 2x back on everything else. Again, making it a really great, flexible, and versatile credit card to have for any day use as well as traveling. And the reason why I'm waiting another 6 or 7 months before I actually apply for the Venture X is because if you didn't know, Capital One tends to be kind of sensitive when it comes to recently opened accounts or new inquiries on your credit report. And although I don't have a ton of newly opened accounts or hard inquiries, I do have some that I opened in the past year or so. So I definitely want to wait a little bit longer until those accounts age a little bit more and become a little bit less new, so I can give myself the best chance of being approved for the Venture X. And lastly, the third credit card that I'm looking to add to my setup after the Venture X is going to be the Built MasterCard. If you haven't heard me talk about the Built MasterCard before, or you don't know what it is, it's the first ever credit card that allows people to pay their rent with no additional fees or charges, and you get to earn 1 point for every dollar spent on your rent as well. And on top of all of that, it does also earn you 3x back on dining and 2x back on travel purchases. And on the first day of each month, since this is when people tend to pay their rent, those dining and travel categories are actually going to be doubled. So on the first of each month, you can earn 6x back on dining and 4x back on travel, which is pretty insane value in my opinion. And if all of that wasn't good enough already, another huge benefit of having the Built MasterCard, no annual fee, and still allows you to utilize transfer partners. It also includes some very, very valuable transfer partners like Hyatt Hotels and American Airlines. And if you didn't know already, no other credit card actually transfers directly to American Airlines. So having those as transfer partners are going to be very, very valuable. And you can find some great business class and longer flights for great redemption values with American Airlines as well. One last thing to mention is that yes, the Built MasterCard is a credit card that's issued by Wells Fargo. And we all know that Wells Fargo has a kind of checkered past, and they've had some incidents in the past. And even with the Built card, there have been some incidents where people maybe get their credit card number stolen and some unauthorized charges get made. But there haven't been too many of these incidents, thankfully, with the Built card. And in any of the incidents that I have seen, obviously you're not going to be liable for those charges. So Wells Fargo will credit you back for those and send you out a new card right away. So for me, it's not too big of a concern. And all of the other benefits that you get with this credit card, like the paying rent with no fees and earning points on the rent, plus the dining and travel categories to get doubled each month. On top of all of that, you get some really good transfer partners like Hyatt Hotels and American Airlines. It is a credit card that is definitely worth it for me personally. And I think that a lot of other people, especially if you are renting, can find value in this credit card as well. But of course, like with anything else, make sure to do your own research and read up on it to decide if it is the right decision for you. But that's going to be it for the credit cards that I'm carrying in my wallet currently and the reason why I'm carrying those credit cards, as well as some insight into the credit cards that I'm looking at adding in the upcoming months and in the beginning of 2024. And I know that it is a very simple setup that I have right now, and I'm only carrying 4 different credit cards. But right now I'm at a stage where I'm not getting a ton of new credit cards, or I'm not trying to hit a bunch of new welcome offers. I'm just trying to optimize my credit card strategy with the cards that I have currently and just carry a few cards at a time that give me some great rewards and stuff like that on my day-to-day spending and the things that I purchase the most, which this setup does for me. But I'm definitely curious to know, what does your current credit card setup look like? What are the credit cards that you're using on a day-to-day basis and the reason for that, as well as some cards that maybe you're looking to add in the upcoming months as well. So definitely let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it, I would appreciate if you could drop the video a like, as it helps me and the channel out tremendously. And if you are new and are interested in more content just like this, where I cover personal finance and credit card tips, then consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss a new upload. As always, each and every one of you are amazing. I appreciate you all for clicking on the video today, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.